Darkness had fallen, and everyone was asleep except the bullfrogs and crickets. It was a weeknight, and any man, woman, or child who had a mind to work tomorrow was in bed, except at Elmo's juke joint, where the night crowd still lounged about, drinking and dancing to the low-down blues. Folks brave enough or stupid enough to think that they could go for hooch for half the night and work the next day. The juke was the only thing in the vicinity that Master Tom didn't own. It belonged to Elmo, a strapping quadroon. But he paid Master to let him stay in business, and Tom, in turn, kept him supplied with corn liquor and beer. Annabelle stepped out into the warm night air. Above her, clouds billowed past two swollen orange globes. Elmo's joint was 2 miles down the road and behind a thicket of trees next to the river. In the distance, beyond the churning waters, she could see the lights of the juke. She could see inside, too. Johnny was 6 feet 2 inches of lithe muscle, his skin the color of brown sugar, his hair black and curly, his teeth like rice. He'd been a ladies' man before he married, and nobody in the quarter could quite believe it when, out of the gaggle of women that surrounded him, he'd chosen Sadie, a timid little thing with about as much sex appeal as one of the bullfrogs now serenading the lake. 6 months later, everybody knew why. Sadie was so happy to have him, she let him do whatever he wanted. Johnny's affairs with other women were so frequent, they'd become legendary and made his wife the object of pity. Still, Johnny always managed to put in a full day's work, no matter what he did the night before. The quarter gossiped about this, too. His drinking was sure to catch up to him one day. That or the women. It was sure to kill him. Annabelle shuffled over to the tin and picked up her pipe. She sucked upon it and blew, all the while murmuring softly. Smoke rose into the air, thickening into a fog. It spread quickly through the quarter and over the river's churning waters to Elmo's juke joint. She chuckled. Now they're asleep. I ain't got to worry about some nosy rascal sticking his nose in my business. The old woman laughed out loud, unbuttoned her calico shift, and let it fall to her ankles. Annabelle kicked free of it and pulled the pins from her hair. Naked in the moonlight, she whispered his name. Johnny. Now, beyond the forest, the faint sound of drums began, invisible hands beating upon skin. Their rhythm swirled around the trees, moving over the river. In the juke, women and men drowsed with their heads resting upon tables or lying on the floor. Elmo had fallen asleep leaning against the wall. Resting at his feet was a young man with light skin and black hair curled against his scalp. Suddenly, Johnny lifted his head. Without so much as a glance at his sleeping fellows, the youth got to his feet and stepped out into the fog. He followed the dirt path, his feet floating just above the earth, carried onward by the mist suffusing the night air. Johnny walked in the midst of a dream. He climbed the porch steps to meet her, a dark woman with a thick mass of unruly hair, taunt skin, full breast and buttocks,